Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Bio Inc. Redemption in our Lethal Difficulty Guide series. Let's continue the death campaign and finish out the slaughterhouse with Roadblock. Doctors work faster and have more resources. And the things that they don't tell you is in this scenario you have to terminate all symptoms. So it's going to be a rough one, unfortunately. I think that the only real viable strategy in this particular scenario is to go under the radar for as long as possible. The doctors may have more resources and work faster, but as long as the patient doesn't go to the doctor for as long as possible, then that's kind of our only saving grace. For our economy, we're going to go for the better resources, simply because I know that I'm going to have a long early game. Although, alternatively, if I don't care as much about score, what I could do is go for the emergency bonus, expecting that the early game is going to drag out a little bit. It's going to take longer to get the points that I need, but as long as we don't go to the doctor, who cares? And then once we do end up going to the doctor, hopefully I'll burn something down so fast we can get the extra points. It is certainly an option. For our diseases, I think we are going to go for the collateral damage. For risk factors, we are going to make everything more useful. You could go for the overweight and circulatory stuff, but because I'm going to spend so much of the early game getting as many risk factors as possible, and I'm not going for kind of a medium-length scenario, I don't really feel like overweight's as much of a priority. I'd rather just go for a lot of non-weight-related things and just make everything stronger for now. For recovery, I think I'm going to go for the poor treatments option, since we know the doctors are going to cure a lot of things, and we are going to go for quick collapse because it is the only thing that ever makes sense. Evolve the next disease upgrades before its predecessors are treated. Sounds great. For that, I'm going to need a heck of a lot of points, though. Go ahead and speed things up. So yeah, terminate all systems. They should really tell you that kind of up front, but they apparently have decided that's not very important information. You don't have to know that you have to terminate all things. I don't know, I personally think that that's kind of crucial. There's an entire scenario based around that mechanic alone, let alone making the doctors more difficult. Yeah, this scenario is about patience. You really do have to take your time, I think. We're going to go for as many risk factors as we can. We're probably going to start by going up the nervous tree route to a drug addict. But we'll also want to pick up basic things like allergies, malnutrition, dehydration, a lot of the weight-related things, basically as much as I think that I can. And we may or may not need to go for nosocomophobia in order to try and buy ourselves as much time as possible before our patient, quote-unquote, ends up going to the doctor. Let's go ahead and buy some risk factors. We'll start with workaholic and smoker. Alcoholic will be the next one. I do not want to get unlucky to evolve randomly, because that means that my patient could get a disease and go to the doctor early. That would be quite bad for me. I don't want to get nymphomaniac either. That's something we learned earlier with the perfect lifestyle. Oh, wait, did I do that? In one of my attempts in the perfect lifestyle scenario to record it, I got nymphomaniac a little early, and, you know, he healed right through it, but the extra damage is technically risky. I could have gone to the doctor by accident. Either way, we're not going to do that. We're going to focus on good old-fashioned alcoholism, and then drugs, and stuff like that. Grab the malnutrition and everything. Part of this is to also kind of give myself as many disease options as is possible later. Remember that risk factors are necessary in order to unlock some of the higher level diseases. Knowing that the doctors are going to be able to cure me very rapidly, there you go, have fun with that trip, buddy. Knowing the doctors are going to cure me very rapidly, I want to have as many paths open to me as possible to do as much damage as is possible. So all the more reason that it is really important that we get a lot of risk factors, especially some of the early ones, and that includes hereditary, overweight, malnutrition, sedentary, and over 60 years old. All of those are going to be pretty basic, because I think those low-level ones are the primary gatekeepers to the diseases that might get locked out. So we'll at least go for all of those, and if I can go for more weight-related things, hey, so much the better. But we'll see. Good news is we're actually getting a pretty reasonable amount of points so far. Now, it is 93 days. I'm a little concerned that we may need to go for nosocomophobia now. And I think I'm going to. We may want to go for stage 2 as well. I want to make my patient as unlikely to go to the doctor as possible, because we need as much time as we can. Whoop, that's more important. We need as much time as we can to get these risk factors together. Now, if we have no diseases by the time that our patient goes to the doctor, then what the doctors are going to do is just start prescribing a lot of lifestyle improvements, which will, of course, make this more and more of an uphill battle, which can be a little bit annoying. All right, just keep grabbing these points. 3Bs are more important. Grab both of you. Okay, now we can continue working on the risk factors. Let's go for overweight. Over 60 years old is going to cost me 12 points. That one's kind of important, especially since we do a lot of extra nervous system damage. Getting things like, I think it's Alzheimer's and stuff like that will be kind of important. Over 60 years old, pretty darn good. Let's see, grab that. Congratulations, you're 60 years old. Happy birthday to you. What are you saying? I just realized he's saying something. Is he one of those crotchety old men? Maybe. I actually called somebody that not too long ago. Sort of in good humor, but while I was sitting around at the pool in Arizona at our resort, some guy that I've never met decided he wanted to strike up a conversation, and he started talking about, you know, I don't know if it was like, it wasn't like kids these days, but sort of stuff about like, you know, annoying people and all that stuff. And I'm like, you're just one of those crotchety old men, aren't you? And he looked at me and he's like, I like you. You're good. It was fun. It was actually a pretty fun conversation. All right, let's go for the malnutrition. We have all of that. Probably would rather get... Well, we could really shut down the renal system. Again, we need everything. I'm going to go for dehydration. He still hasn't gone to the doctor, and he's at 150 days. I don't anticipate... There it is. I was going to say, I don't anticipate we're going to get to do this for much longer. Here's fast diagnosis. That sucks. All right. So if we're going to have these points, what do we work on first? I think we start with something like chronic stress and nervous breakdown and try to grab as much in the nervous system as possible and try to do some collateral damage. I would love nothing better, of course, than to get something like Parkinson's. He's already freaking curing the chronic stress. Dear God in heaven. That's rough, isn't it? All right, what else do we need then? We can go for the... Let's go for the burnout. A headache is going to be a little bit harder to diagnose, I think. Major depression, we may not be able to get. That one's expensive, though. Would be nice. Metabolic panel is being done. Psychological evaluation is being done. Now, in order to get our upgrades, we need to get this guy below 80% health to start. He's already curing the burnout. How is he curing the burnout? He didn't even get nervous breakdown done first. Oh, this is going to be one of those scenarios that cheats, isn't it? It's going to be one of those ones where the doctors absolutely can go do whatever the heck they want. So when they say they have more resources, you mean to say that they have basically godlike powers. Can I get Alzheimer's for 10 before he cures it? Possibly. Yes, the answer to that is going to be yes. Oh, wow, he's already working on it. Good God! This doctor, though. The alternative would be to go for recovery and try to slow him down. Diagnostic tests take longer. Cures take longer. Treatments are less effective. Go on a strike. All of these things are going to be good. Wow, we're already on the brain MRI. Dear God, this AI is good. Yeah. What am I trying to say? There's a lot of things that we could be trying to do. I'm a little concerned, though. He's already trying to be more relaxed. So the doctor's already prescribing more lifestyles, which means he knows that there's no other symptoms left. We're going to go for the Parkinson's disease and try to do a lot of damage to the muscular system. Better lifestyles. Okay, all lifestyles just became more effective for the AI, because that's fair. It is actually completely fair. It's just really annoying for me. 18% cure recovery already. Okay, well, he did just waste a bunch of points on the brain MRI. He's going to have to do that all over again in a minute, which the AI may not be very keen to do. I can't do things like epileptic seizures and stuff until I have a stroke. We can, however, continue focusing on the muscular system. I might want to go for fibromyalgia. If we can shut something down, that would certainly be good. Here comes the metabolic panel and the ultrasounds and all of that nonsense. Potassium deficiency is going to get cured. There's the chronic muscle cramp. He's really fast. Credit where it's due. Psychiatric assessment to find out if we have Parkinson's. Ugh. All right, we're going to have the points that we need in order to go for the fibromyalgia. Good news is we're also about to be able to get some upgrades. If we can shut down a single system, we get extra harvest power. It's going to be a little hard to do that at the moment. Patient's recovering a little more than I'm keen on either. Oh, gosh. This is a rough scenario. There's no denying it. All right, let's go for that next. I may want to start working down the renal system as aggressively as I can, though I'm going to wish I had a lot of points for that. Parkinson's disease is doing its thing. Let's see. The muscular system's taken a lot of damage. Necrotizing fasciitis is not going to be an option at the moment. If we wanted to go for things like arthritis and rickets, would not be the worst idea. Osteoporosis and stuff. We could start working a bit more on the skeletal system. Okay, we're going to the emergency room. Hooray! The doctor's going to be even better than before. What I could do is actually try to go for a doctor's strike to shut down a lot of things, and I actually think that I need to do that right now, because I do not want to have things like arthritis shut down right now. Let's go for the nurses on strike, because that's going to be terrible for them. This upgrade would cost 8 points to get the harvest power, which is nice and all. Nervous system is going to be going down. You're not going to cure the Parkinson's in time. That's certainly going to help. Let's go for the rickets to start. I want to get as much skeletal damage in there as possible. Here come the blood calcium tests immediately. How many points does the AI have right now? Seems like a lot. There goes fibromyalgia. We're probably going to see some sort of regeneration therapy in a minute. Rickets is already being cured. I want to go for the osteoporosis. If we can go for Paget's disease or a frequent bone fracture, that would be nice. I'm not thinking we're going to get it, though. Skeletal system has taken a lot of damage, it's true. But we need a lot more. Good news is the game is actually being relatively generous in terms of points right now. Skeletal system is certainly getting shut down. And there's the bone graft that I didn't want to see. Okay. Let's go for the Paget's disease is muscular and skeletal. I'd rather focus on the skeletal, so let's go for the frequent bone fracture. Leukemia could be pretty good as well. Immune and circulatory bone death would be incredibly effective at shutting down the skeletal system. Not sure we can afford to do anything like that at the moment. Don't really want to focus on the circulatory system, the respiratory, and definitely not the immune. We may have to go for the renal and the digestive system next. This would be a lot easier if we didn't have to worry about shutting down every single disease, you know? It's pretty hard to do that. If we can, actually, we have shut down all the stuff that I need. If I can get the upgrades, we can get the extra points now. So 10 points would get me +1 per resource, and we kind of do need that. But the bones graft was a failure, thankfully. 1 more point, please. Good news is these actually do take a while to cure as well. So 3 systems are working to my advantage right now. Got to do this before the doctor is able to get to 100% cure progress. So if I focus on the renal system next, I think we'll have a good shot at this. So let's go for that. Wow! Well, I was going to say we go for the renal, but maybe we don't. Look how many lifestyles this guy's getting. All right, tell you what. Instead, we're going to go for digestive. Gastroenteritis and constipation and hemorrhoids. We'll try saving up for things like irritable bowel. Cirrhosis would be quite good. Salmonella. There's a lot of options in the digestive system. We're going to try to burn one of these down. If I can get 4 out of here, I think the doctor's just done. And there's nothing really that can be done. Gastroenteritis is already being cured. You know what? Let's change plans. Go for salmonella and then Crohn's disease. I don't think it's going to be all that hard to get the points that I need. There we go. Already done. Let's go for Crohn's disease. We are going to win this one. But yeah, it's, oh, I didn't even realize you had neuroregeneration. I probably should have paid more attention to that. Okay. Anyway, yeah, a lot of stuff going on here. A lot of systems to fight. The AI is really freaking rough. There's the gastric bypass. Just to make things even more difficult than it was before, let's go for the irritable bowel next, followed by the type 1 diabetes. I would love colon cancer, but I don't think we're going to have time. Cirrhosis we can certainly do. There's no way for the AI to block that off. We would need 12 points, but it would do a lot of damage. That said, everything else is kind of already starting to fall apart. Yeah, I don't think the doctor can get me at this point. The recovery progress, fortunately, appears to have been rebalanced a little bit, so you don't just lose outright for, like, getting cured with, like, 5 diseases. So we're going to go for the kidney stones, work on that renal system, try to ramp up a bit more damage in that system. I think otherwise we are going to be A-okay. It's actually already gone, and I didn't realize it. Okay, so you know what? Instead, let's go for circulatory. We will do the blood clots, some hypertension, some high cholesterol. And in the immune system, I could go for a couple things to try and just offset some of the recovery that is being done. But it doesn't look like it's going to matter. We've got this guy down. All those systems kind of dominoing out of control here. There's nothing they can do. There we go. That is Roadblock, everybody. Go for the risk factors like crazy. And then, yeah, be aggressive. Focus on one system, burn as much as you can, try to use those points efficiently, and you can beat this scenario, but just understand the AI is going to detect you almost immediately. I don't even think there's much point in going for slower diagnoses or cures, because you know that the doctor is going to get them so fast already. Just better to make them permanently less effective. One other thing you can do is, yeah, you could go for the extra points to try and slow down the diagnosis and stuff that way. Again, I don't think it's worth it. I will say I think the reason we even won this scenario is because of a really well-timed nurse's strike. So if you don't want to go for all treatments are 10% less effective, then perhaps going for the booster that makes all strikes last longer could be an option for you just to get 1 or 2 systems down and get the AI in panic mode. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Hit that notify bell if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time.